Hi, this is Suzanne Kellner-Zinck, and I want to talk to you today about the issue of sex addictions. It's really quite a problem in today's society because, as you know, we're using computers more and more, not just for playtime and playing video games and doing word processing, but people are using them in general in their work environment more and more. And as a result of that, people are finding it easier to get involved in pornography and doing other things like searching for a massage therapist on the internet, which can lead to bigger problems. I have some statistics here actually that shows that 25 million Americans visit cybersex sites between 1 to 10 hours per week. Another 4.7 million over 11 hours per week at MSNBC, Stanford study in the Washington Times. That was reported in January of 2000. I'm sure that the numbers are quite a bit higher at this point now. According to Data Monitor, in 2003, over half of all spending on the internet is related to sexual activity. I don't know about you, but that kind of blows me away. 30 million people are logging on at pornographic websites daily. So what is an addiction? Because, sometimes people have different ideas of what an addiction is, and seriously, some of the professionals out there don't even think that there is such a thing as sexual addiction or sexual compulsion, and there's really not even any real definition of what it is in the DSM, which is the manual that the psychologists and social workers use to diagnose people. However, it's really when a person has a compulsive thought that leads to an impulse that cannot be stopped. And with a sex addict, what is happening is that they are constantly thinking about what it is they'd like to do sexually, and they're unable to stop it. It's like their thoughts just are continuously around getting their fix, which is not just the sexual act itself, although the pornographers of the cyberspace would love the sex addict to climax. That's their whole goal, to keep them really truly addicted to go into these sites because that's how they make money. However, what's really happening is that there's a dopamine release in the brain, but it starts actually as they're doing the actual searching. So they might be out there searching for some cute person, or they might be on some website looking for some kind of massage therapist. And when they find the right massage therapist who they think they're attracted to, what they'll do is they'll go there and more often than not, they'll get happy ending massages, which means basically being finished off. I was really shocked and amazed to find this to be true. And it is true, because the guys who have been seeing me for this problem have told me that even the licensed massage therapists, many of them, will offer to do that service for them. Of course, they would most likely want a really huge tip as a result, usually for more than the actual cost of the massage, and that is why they do it. Interestingly enough, when someone is arrested in the sex trade, only 10% of the men who are involved in this kind of activity get arrested. It's generally the women who get arrested, and massage joints can be shut down in a town where this kind of activity is happening, and they're not allowed to work there anymore. However, they'll go to different towns and set up shop there. So what exactly is the problem? The problem is that we have men who are leaving their families to go do these activities, and they just can't stop doing it. And they feel ashamed, and they feel bad about it, and yet they still can't stop. Interestingly enough, through hypnosis, I've been able to help my guys end this problem, usually in 4 to 6 weeks period of time. We do the sex addiction process, and then I have to help them to create positive attachments. Because what's really happening with them is that when they were little babies, they never really formed a correct attachment to their mom. Maybe their mom was depressed, or maybe she just was negligent, but for whatever reason, she didn't have that attachment to her baby where the infant son was able to grow the amygdala of the brain, where that part of the emotions where attachment is formed, actually occurs. And this is where the problem lies. So there's actually a physiological reason why these guys, and in some cases 10% of them are females, have this issue of not being able to make primary bonds with their primary relationships. So I hope you have a better understanding of what sex addiction is and what it isn't, and that it definitely exists, because anytime a person is spending more money than what they have, spending more time than they really have available, leaving out time with their families and their friends and any kind of activities that they might have enjoyed previously for this particular behavior to take over their life, that is indeed an addiction. And it's really the dopamine rush that they're going for. Even though after they do it long enough, they no longer get the same pleasure that they would have gotten. They just continue doing it because they just want to feel normal instead of having those negative emotions, which were the driver into that behavior in the first place. So, sex addiction does exist for the men who experience it. Again, this is Suzanne Kellner-Zinck, and I hope you found this helpful. Hi, this is Suzanne Kellner-Zinck, and I'd like to talk to you about self-confidence. I had a client come in fairly recently who had an issue with drugs, actually, in this case. And she had asked me to help her with self-confidence, because you see, a lot of times people will go to addictive behaviors. It doesn't have to be just drugs or alcohol. It could be a lot of different kinds of addictions, in order to clear their minds and not have to have those negative feelings they have. Because why? They have a lack of self-confidence. So what is self-confidence? It's based on a feeling of competence in life known as self-efficacy. It's built on mastering various areas in life. We feel more of a general of being able to cope in our lives, as well as a right to be happy. A feeling of self-esteem will be available to us at that point. When people are lacking self-confidence, they feel incapable of doing some of the normal things that people are able to do in life. There's a sense of self-depreciation many times, and people who lack self-confidence might beat themselves up quite a bit. They have this feeling of being incapable. Many of my clients come in with lack of self-confidence, realizing that this feeling, like this previous client that I was talking about, is not allowing them to enjoy their lives the way that they would like to. And this is a problem because it gets in the way of them having friends in a way where they feel comfortable with their friends. It might hold them back in getting jobs that maybe they're capable of doing, but they don't feel they are because of that lack of self-confidence. It might prevent them from doing things that they would love to do, but feel for some reason they're incapable of doing it. So I'd like you to think about where you currently are in terms of having self-confidence. Think about where you want to be. Commit yourself to setting goals so that you can go to those places and do those things. The things that are your dreams that you have in your life. Because you know, self-confident people are able to do the right thing for themselves without worrying about others criticizing them. They just do it anyway. They're willing to take risk and do whatever it takes to meet their goals. And they thank those who compliment them. I'd like you to think about the fact that if someone tells you that you're wearing a nice outfit or that you look really good or attractive, the only thing you need to do is to say, thank you very much, I appreciate that. That's all you need to do. Because you'd never want someone to give you a compliment and think poorly of themselves for giving you that compliment by you saying anything other than just a plain thank you. So how do you build your own self-confidence? First of all, dress in a manner that shows you off to your best effect. in a way that makes you feel great about yourself. You know, the great outfit that you have. Do your hair nice. And if you're female, wear makeup. If you're a man, be shaved. Do those things that you know that you're good at so that you can build your self-confidence. Take a stand for what truly matters for you. You know what those things are, so go for that. Surround yourself with positive, productive, loving people, because that will always help your self-confidence. Take time to play, especially if you're like me and you're kind of a workaholic. And remember, everyone is here on the planet has gifts, things that they're really excellent at and that they can do that make them feel good, that come easy to them. Go ahead and do those things. And by doing those things, you will be building up your self-confidence. And if you need other help in the area of self-confidence, of course you can go see a professional to help you to build it. But these are really good ideas to start with. Thanks for watching, and this is Suzanne Kellner-Zinck.